What's happening, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to On the Topic Of, and today we are not going to be talking about a piece of video game news, but rather something that would be considered tech stuff, and I'm going to be talking about YouTube as a whole and how it's changing, and the kind of changes that are coming to light that have been going on over the course of the past couple of years. Pretty much I'm going to be highlighting two things. Number one is this whole controversy of pretty much free speech that's been going on over the course of the past 2 weeks, since YouTube has kind of made it clear that they're finally starting to let creators know when their videos are being demonetized because of their content and what is considered appropriate to be advertised on. And the second thing I'm going to be talking about is the new community tab that has been added to a lot of major YouTubers' pages. That's kind of interesting, and I thought that I would finally sit down and give my 2 cents on something that has been in the YouTube news a lot lately, and also kind of tell you guys about this community tab and if I'll be using it and just kind of fill you in. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, so over the course of the past couple of weeks, demonetization is a term that has been being thrown around a lot within our kind of little creative atmosphere that we YouTubers hang out in, and this is because of a lot of guys like Boogie2988, Casey Neistat, Philip DeFranco, PewDiePie. These are all people that have spoken out about what is going on with YouTube and what exactly is happening. So pretty much there has not been a major policy change that has made these changes come into light. It's just the fact that YouTube is finally letting creators know that they are actually demonetizing these videos because the content is not considered appropriate for advertisers to kind of use to put their ads on. Now, what classifies a video as something that should not be advertised on includes stuff like drugs, profanity, violence and injury, controversial subjects including those related to war, political conflicts, natural disasters, tragedies, even if graphic imagery is not shown. So pretty much this is a little bit confusing because these terms of service, so to speak, are vague enough to where YouTube can kind of decide what is considered a violation and what is not. And on top of that, if graphic imagery isn't allowed to be shown and profanity isn't allowed to be used, you can't even advertise the next Call of Duty game. I'm not exactly sure what they're getting at. Plenty of ads that are on the front of people's videos are violating these very terms, and it's just kind of confusing for every content creator that's being affected by this new policy, at least enforcement, if not change. Now, a lot of content creators are saying this is a violation of free speech. You should be able to say whatever you want, however you want to say it, so to speak. But this is not exactly true because we all signed terms of service agreements whenever we created our YouTube accounts, so we kind of have to follow the rules that those terms of service are putting on us, which is something that I personally have come to terms with, and if you want to keep making content on YouTube, you probably should start working on that yourself. So all of that being said, I totally get where YouTube is coming from with this, and I'm going to have to say that I support it because they're literally trying to make the internet and YouTube itself a better place. It's kind of like how Twitter responded to the Leslie Jones attack that happened a couple of months ago. If you aren't familiar with what went on, pretty much the Ghostbusters movie was coming out. Leslie Jones is one of the stars of that movie who was pretty much a feminist. She's one for feminist rights, which I'm all for. You know, she had a lot of opinions that were very adverse of the alt-right movement, which is something that's kind of associated with Donald Trump. It's very hard to explain, but their leader is Milo Yiannopoulos, and his account ended up getting suspended because Leslie Jones ended up having to leave Twitter because she was getting attacked by Milo's followers so much, and it was pretty much ruining her life. And then, of course, her nudes got leaked, and it was a big thing. But at the end of the day, Milo's account got deleted, and people were saying that that was a violation of free speech, and it kind of ended in the same way that this YouTube controversy seems to be ending, in that you agreed to the terms of service of Twitter, so you kind of have to abide by that, and if that means your account gets deleted, well, you know, sucks to suck. So now here we are a couple of months later, and Milo's account is still gone. Leslie Jones is actually back, and overall it seems like Twitter has at least stayed the same, or it's gotten a little bit less hostile. In other words, no significant impact has been made because of all of this controversy and hullabaloo that was going on over the course of the entire summer, pretty much. It's actually kind of incredible, and I believe that's what's going to happen with YouTube. Either the change is going to be positive, or there isn't really going to be any change whatsoever. Considering this has been in effect on YouTube since 2012, I would think the latter. Now, in addition to what Twitter has done with the Leslie Jones Milo stuff, they've also been attacking ISIS-associated Twitter accounts very adamantly. In fact, as of August, 360,000 ISIS-related accounts had actually been suspended. Another way to protect the people on Twitter that might just be browsing, be interested by ISIS content, be offended by it, whatever they may be. Anything associated with ISIS is pretty much going down, so Twitter is actually doing a very good job of making sure that that their users are both protected and safe while also maintaining the overall happiness of their user base. It's a really good thing that they're doing, and I believe YouTube is trying to follow suit. Now, overall, I've narrowed it down to 3 points that I think are very important to remember while all of these changes are going on. Number one, no one likes change, whether that be high school to college, whether that be a new job, a new relationship. Change is something that stresses people out, and so for YouTube, you have a kind of a double-edged sword here. For content creators, you have a place that you can go and make content, and it is your everyday job, and so to see that side of stuff change is very, very stressful. Now, for the people that go and watch these YouTube videos that don't necessarily create things, it's their place for an escape from the world, and to see these content creators stressed out, or the insurance that they're going to be there the next day kind of question, that is definitely adding to a little bit of stress, and the change is not going to be an easy thing to accept, even if it isn't going to have a huge impact in the long run. Number 2, even the mention of messing with someone's money pisses them off, and I'm going to be picking on Boogie2988 for just a couple of seconds here. Sorry, Boog, you were the most vocal about it, but he was pretty much praising Patreon and Loot Crate for being 2 different sources of income that he can always depend on. Of course, Patreon, you can go and donate to your favorite content creators outside of YouTube or Twitch, whichever one it might be, or even on Twitter. It doesn't matter, you can set up a Patreon for anything. And also, Loot Crate is a sponsorship that he has where you put in a code, you can get a discount. He can make a little bit of money, you can save a little bit of money, and it's ultimately a cool thing in the long run. But these are different ways of him making money. But he said if the ad revenue continued to drop, he might have to go out and get a 9 to 5. His wife might have to go out and get a 9 to 5. The future was uncertain, which is something you definitely don't want as a content creator and also as an audience member, because if you see your favorite creator stressed out, the video isn't going to be as good as it normally would be. However, this is kind of a double-edged sword for YouTube itself, because if the content creator is pissed off, they can easily piss off their audience, which means you're going to have a whole mob of your entire user base going against you, and YouTube and Google certainly don't want that. Now, number 3 is one that I've already mentioned, so I'm not going to go more in depth on it, but YouTube is trying to do something good. Although we are primarily talking about the bad and the demonetization and the freedom of speech being encroached upon, possibly even though we agreed to the terms of service, they are trying to make better people out of their content creators and trying to make good people content creators themselves. It's a two-way street, and I feel like it's actually a good thing in the long run if you look at it through a certain perspective. So now that all of that's out of the way, let's talk about the community tab. This is a new addition that primarily looks good on mobile platforms, to be honest. The PC version is there, but it looks gross. I suppose they should try and make it look like more of a Twitter feed. That's just my opinion, but it's pretty much a way for content creators to connect to their audiences through text, live videos, images, animated GIFs, and a whole bunch of other ways. It's pretty much making YouTube into the one-stop shop to connect with your favorite content creator, see what's up, for them to post whatever they want. It's pretty much a separate feed for one individual person if you do choose to follow that, and you can also set notifications to kind of buzz in your pocket whenever they do choose to post something on that feed. Now, as for right now, the feature is only being rolled out to several select YouTubers that have millions of subscribers. You've got the Vlog Brothers, ASAP Science, The Game Theorist, The Key of Awesome, several other ones including Vsauce3 that have access to the community tab and have been trying it out. Now, it does need work, and YouTube knows that, so as they get more feedback from the community, they're going to add more features to the service as well as roll it out to more and more content creators, supposedly getting to the entire YouTube audience over the course of the next couple of months. So this could actually be pretty cool depending on how it is able to be used. For instance, I think the community tab could be a great way for professionalism to be separated from the casual social network like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. For instance, if you wanted to post a picture of your dog or your cat or your family, whatever it may be, just a general picture, say you went on vacation, put that over on your Twitter or your Instagram. Now, if you wanted to post a video of a little clip from your upcoming project, put that over on the community tab on YouTube so that your hardcore YouTube audience can see that. If you wanted to put a poll out there seeing what people wanted to see over the course of the next couple of months on your channel, put that on the YouTube community tab and then post a tweet to Twitter. That would be a great use of this new tab, and I hope that's how they end up utilizing it, although right now it seems like it's just going to be another Twitter clone that isn't going to be used much on YouTube, though I might be wrong, you never really know. Now, what all this proves is that YouTube is currently changing, but I personally have faith that YouTube and Google will work out a way to honor content creators, honor their creativity, and also make a great experience for the user base going forward. I have complete and total faith in that because they've never let me down before, and I don't see any reason to start doubting them now. So there you guys have it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, share it on your Twitter, social media, Instagram, WhatsApp, I believe is a thing. Just get my name out there, let people know I exist, and bring them to my channel. Bring them to me, my people. And of course, if you happen to be new to the channel or you've never seen my other content, I do upload new stuff like 3 or 4 days a week, depending on the week. So there's always something new right here on the channel when you drop by to watch some videos. But as for right now, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching this particular video. I'll talk to you soon, and I'm going to go try out this For Honor Alpha because I have no idea what this game actually is, but I'll talk about it if I have any thoughts either way on it. Anyways, have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Peace.